What does it do, YouTube? Welcome back to another episode of Scotty Says. I am your host, and I really hoped that this time things were going to be different. I really hoped that this time, after experiencing the exceptional success in Indianapolis in the first half versus the Colts, that the Rams and their play calling coach would have finally gotten the message I had really, sincerely, truly hoped. That somehow, perhaps by osmosis even, being in such close proximity to balanced coaches like Shane Steichen, seeing up close the discipline employed even in the face of a 23-0 deficit in the second half. I had hoped these examples would have registered. I had hoped that after time and again being sunned by your father, Dada, Father Shanahan, and them damn Niners, that the lesson would have gotten through. And I take it from the coach's own mouth, from his own words. He says in the press conference post-game, time after time, and I quote, "We're going to look at the film and see where we can be better." He says it every post game. And I took him at his word that he was going to actually do that. Because you see, for years now, I have chronicled the Rams from Scotty Says International Headquarters here. I have given my perspective and, yes, unsolicited advice. And as the conditions became more dire, I began to dig deeper in research. My friends, we have to face inescapable conclusions. And I hope you've been following along. I spent an hour plus just the last episode 81, dissecting and analyzing the Indianapolis Colts game, because it was like a morality tale, the game. So many lessons in that game, if only they are heeded. And so it is from this corner of cyberspace that news has been broken. Yes, I have broken news over the years. It was from here. It was I who revealed that the palace in Inglewood, known as SoFi, was haunted by a malevolent spirit. You heard it here first. It was I who dug into the books and found that the coach actually suffered from a chronic chronic but rare condition known as past happiness. You heard it here first. And so, despite all of that, I'd really hope this time the lessons from the indie game and the cries from the outskirts of the city would be heeded. And then I tuned in to the Philadelphia Eagles versus the Rams from the haunted palace in Inglewood, known as SoFi. I tuned in and very quickly, very shortly after tuning in, my hopes were diminished and then dashed as I saw a complete reversion, a complete backslide. And so the conclusion, I'm afraid I must report, is inescapable. Coach of the Rams, offensive genius mind though he may have, the coach of the Rams is unbalanced. I had to say it. He is unbalanced and suffers from past happiness. We've revealed it now. I had to say it. And the only remedy is treatment. Continuous lifetime treatment. You have to stay in treatment, coach. And I believe, Motown slide, backslide, he slips in and out of treatment. And as a result, you see what we see. McWonder's gonna do what McWonder's gonna do. He can't help himself, you understand. It's bigger than him. And so, there is good news and there is bad news from the haunted palace in Inglewood. And the fly in the soup has been exposed. And his name is Sean. I shouldn't have to come here every week and keep giving you the evidence that your coach is unbalanced. It's obvious for the world to see. And the local media and, the entertainment industry and your casual fans, they give McGenius a pass. They let him off the hook. They won't hold his tootsies to the fire. And it is for that reason, I think, that what we see will only continue. And as I told you several episodes back, you may be able to defeat teams like the Arizona Cardinals. Maybe they're coming up next. Maybe you'll defeat them, but they're scrappy. You go all past happiness on them, you'll lose to them too. Ask them damn fraudulent Cowboys about them. But maybe you'll beat them. Maybe you'll beat Green Bay. That type of team. But if you're talking about bigger aspirations, if you're talking about the playoffs, if that's what you're talking about, coach, there's no way you're going to have success with this recipe. You've got to embrace the principles of balance. You've got to change your unbalanced ways. You've got to stop backsliding. Did you learn nothing from my last episode, the Indianapolis game? You say we're going to look at the film and see where we could be better, but you keep doing the same thing, expecting a different result. And Father Shanahan knows this. He wrote the book on you, I believe. And now these other coaches, they have the book. Shane Steichen has the book. Sirianni has the book. They understand what I've been preaching for years now. They get it. You don't. They keep beating you. Well, I'm going to just lay out the evidence and let it be and reduce the running time of this episode. So, in the end, there is good news and there is bad news. The good news is that the Rams have played the two most difficult opponents on their schedule already. Now, they lost to both of them, granted, and they do get them damn Niners again at the very end of the season. But 5 games in now, you've got 12 to go, 11 if you don't count the Niners, who you know Father Shanahan is going to handle his son again. So let's not even count that one. And as I've said, the more time goes by and the more I think about it, the more miraculous and amazing it is to me that somehow McWonder defeated his father to get to the Super Bowl. I don't know how he did it. But I digress. There is a book. It is the book of balance. And so, as I have said in the past, Father Shanahan comes to town. He runs the ball 25 times. He has his quarterback Purdy throw the ball 25 times. He whoops that ass. You, in the same game, have your quarterback throw the ball 55 times. The double nickel 55. 55 times. And you run the ball 17? See, maybe a little unbalanced there, maybe? That's it. In a nutshell. I have come to believe that the proclivity by the boy genius to lean so heavily toward the pass game, I have come to believe that is what is holding this team back. I believe the Rams, instead of being 2-3, I believe the Rams could be easily 3-2 or 4-1. They weren't going to beat them damn Niners, but even in that game, they had a chance. If McGenius would have employed even a semblance of the balance that his father did, he could have upset them. And so, maybe he is motivational, maybe he is inspirational, but he has to also take accountability for being so wildly out of balance that it is costing the team victories. L's and dubs, which one is it? This team, you don't have a margin for error. These are youngsters playing hard. You've got some talent, but You, sir, the play caller, you have to help them. And I have come to believe that the quarterback is not the problem. In fact, Matty from the D, Matthew Stafford, has been balling out. You know, he's a little bit of a slinger, gunslinger, you know, but he's been throwing darts and dimes. That last touchdown he threw in the Eagles game, he dropped it down the silo, down the chute, down the bucket, right down. I believe it was in the Puka's arm. Like, wow. What a throw. He's not the problem. Your wide receivers, they are not the problem. In fact, I like the wide receiver broth that we have. Soup, Puka, and Tutu. That sounds like a winning stew. These guys are a good complement for each other, and I foresaw that. I mentioned that in the previous episode, and you saw Soup came right back. Looked like he hadn't really missed a beat, and true enough, his first half was well in excess of his production in the second half, but that was the case across the board for the offense. But welcome back, Soup. And Puka still doing his thing. And Tutu can take the top off. So I like that wideout mix. And if you need an extra one to run out there, you got 2 chains chilling off to the side. Okay? I like the tight ends. I like Higbee and I like Hopkins. And I really like when McGenius goes 12 personnel and employs 2 tight ends and starts to get closer toward a more power run game. But again, we already know that is not what the coach likes to do. He loves 11 personnel. I've come to the realization the problem is not the offensive line. Now, granted, true enough, too much shuffling will kill any O-line. So you need some good luck with the injuries. Fair enough. But I like Avila. Shelton is doing fine at center. Havenstein is a staple. Note go boom when he's available and there, does an adequate job, more than adequate. I like Jackson. So their line the line is not the problem. But see, what happens is the play caller, you see, has a choice to make with your offensive line. Okay? Let's call this segment O-line talk. Your play caller has an option. Do you want to run the ball and have the O-line firing off the line of scrimmage in an aggressive, in a proactive manner, in an attacking mode? Or do you prefer to have your O-line backing up, moonwalking, pass protection, dropping back, reactive, a passive mode versus run blocking, pass blocking versus run blocking? So if you're so out of balance that you're calling 70+% of your plays as pass plays, the O-line is moonwalking all game long. Shalom. Mama say, mama sa. Okay? Instead of being aggressive, firing off the ball, attacking with the run game. And with the run game And again, I know this message in the bottle will fall on deaf ears, but I can't help but to say I try. With the run game, it's not even so much that you're breaking off 5-6 yards per carry. That's not even the main point. But it's the attrition of it. It's the tenacity of it. It's the toll it takes over the course of 4 quarters. It's asserting your will as an O-line. And so you give the defense body blows when you run, even if you're not breaking off 5 yards per pop. And I want to say right here, the problem is not the running back, Kyren Williams. He is doing an admirable job. He's averaging 4.1 yards per carry. That'll get it done. All you got to do is give him more carries. See? See how simple it works? In the Indianapolis game, Kyren Williams had 25 carries, 103, 104 yards, 4.1 yards per carry. Okay? Great game. Now, you follow that up. Here we are against the Eagles. Top 1 or 2 rated team in the league. And Kyren Williams is breaking off 4.1 yards per carry, just like in Indy. But the difference is you give him 12 carries. You have 13 runs for the whole game. Mr. McWonder, it makes me wonder, why can't you see? So, Father Shanahan, 25 runs, 25 passes, whooped you. Let's fast forward to Philadelphia game. Sirianni, Jalen Hurts, 38 attempts, 25 completions, 38 attempts, a touchdown and a pick, a blue dick ice strike. And they had 37 design runs. Now, here's the thing now. You've got that next wave, that new evolution, that next generation quarterback, just like you had with Anthony Richardson in Indy. And I hope the brother gets well soon. Just like you had with the Eagles, Jalen Hurts. It's that next generation quarterback now. And the danger there, though, is that if you rely too much on getting out the pocket and moving the ball with your legs, you run the risk of taking punishment that can sideline you. But Jalen Hurts is like, I called him Hurts Houdini. Houdini Hurts. Because he's got that escape artist talent. Where you think you got him bottled, you got him cornered, and he can snake out or slip through or find a stutter step and he's out. And that bit the Rams defense all day. It's a tough deal when the quarterback's cooking, when he can throw it over the top, when he can hand it off to his running back, and then when he's got that RPO, that run pass option, and he can take it. Jalen Hurts had 15 carries. He led all rushers on the day, Philly and LA. 15 carries. So Anthony Richardson must have had 10 the week before. Point being, these are design runs. And so Philadelphia, Nick Sirianni, employed balance. 38 passes, 37 runs. You can't really get any more balance than that. They dominated time of possession, dominated in first downs. And to be perfectly honest, they just look like a superior team on both sides of the ball. I believe those next-gen stats said that the Eagles D-line had a 74+% pass rush win rate. Say that 4 times fast. Pass rush win rate. But that was the highest percentage all season for any D-line unit. So they were balling on the D-line side of the ball, and they were creating pressure, and they were causing that pocket stress and often to crumble, and they put some wallops on Matty from the D. And what really helps, what fuels that kind of tenacious driving pass rush is knowing that McWonder's going to throw every down. See, the book is out on McWonder. If McWonder is ahead by a touchdown or so, he's going to keep throwing because he thinks that's too close. If the game is tied, he feels panic and he throws. If he's behind, forget about it. He's got to throw. You see, he suffers from a condition, my folks. And it's easily triggered. As happiest. And so, that is the reality we are facing. The good news and the bad news. The good news being, we face 2 of the tougher teams in the league, 2 of the toughest teams on the schedule. And now, if by some method or fashion McWonder could rein himself in, now the Rams have a chance to fatten up on the dub side of the ledger. And at 2-3, they are still right in the mix. That's the good news. They've got a chance to actually do some damage with this squad. But the bad news is that there is a fly in the soup. The bad news is that the fly is your coach, is your play caller. And without constant intervention, therapy, treatment, he's subject to have a conniption anytime. And so how far can you really confidently pick the Rams to go? Knowing this, that there is literally a malevolent ghost in the machine. So, all right, I have definitely waxed poetic long enough. Let's go ahead and quickly get to game analysis. This is going to be a condensed version. The inactives of note go boom. Inactive, note go boom is note go out. Would not play. And this is just an ongoing scenario with no go boom. But as I mentioned earlier, Soup is back. Welcome back, Super Cup. And so now there's that wide receiver trio that I've been anticipating. And they looked good overall on the day. So the O-line, Havenstein at right tackle, Dotson at right guard. You got Shelton, who, as it turned out, would get injured and be in and then out and then back in. Shelton is your center. Avila Avilaya left guard, and Alaric Jackson, who also was nicked and had injury issues, started at left tackle. Now, Philly started out with the ball, and right away, you see why Philly is an upper echelon team. They, right out the gate now, go on an extended drive, converting third downs. They look good. They're sharp. Hurts is already displaying that he can throw accurately and then be an escapist and elusive in the pocket and cause trouble with his legs. And so Philly goes 12 plays and 75 yards right out the gate. And the Eagles fly in early, 7-0. McGenius and the Rams on offense take over. And almost as if he said, hey, I see how much love you give your tight end on that opening drive. Goddard, I'm going to give my tight end some love. Higbee, but the first play out the gate to Higbee incomplete. But then, next play, Puka complete. And then look, it's Soup. Soup running free over the middle, catching passes, looking good. And so out the gate now, the Rams are driving, but it's all pretty much aerial. And so early on now, I'm thinking, balance. I'm thinking, McGenius appears to already be in pass happy mode. He's got Soup back. See, it's a trigger. He's too tempted now. He's got Soup back and Puka and Tutu running around, and and there he is, Matty from the D in the gun yet again. And then the next play, I see the running back, Kyron Williams, lined up wide left and empty backfield. And I'm like, Mr. McWonder, show some restraint, sir, please. And it's throw, but finally a couple of consecutive runs to K. Will. Oh, sheesh. We get to a 3rd and 1 on that first drive, and it's from the Philadelphia 22-yard line. And I feel like this is a big early down for McGenius, because you're down 7-0. It's 3rd and 1. You're driving. You don't want to settle for field goals because remember now, what was the case in Cincinnati? McGenius refused to run in the red zone. Would not do it. So, okay, 3rd and 1. And I'm thinking run the ball. But no. McWonder does not run the ball. He throws, and it's incomplete. I'm like, 3rd and 1. You're at about the 20-yard line of the opponent. You're throwing incomplete. I mean, and you've already had one pass on this first drive to Soup that was tipped, and I was like, oh, you trying to invite him in. You've got to restrain him. But now, 4th and 1. And correctly, McGenius decides to go for it. But I'm thinking, run the ball, McGenius, run. Does he? No. McWonder is throwing again on 4th and 1. Fortunately, this pass is complete. And 1st and goal now on that completion of Soup over the middle from the 10-yard line. And, I'm thinking, okay, McWonder is getting away with it on this drive. He's eschewing the run. He's abandoning the run. He's electing to be pass happy. And yet, here we are, 1st and goal. And so far, he's gotten away with it. But see, this is the thing, my folks. I'm thinking it doesn't bode well. And McGenius does hand the ball off to K. Will, and he gets stuffed, not much. And I knew then, well, he gave him one run and didn't get anything out of it. That's it. He's throwing the rest of this possession. I knew. And sure enough, 2nd and goal, throwing again. 3rd and goal, he's throwing again. And this time, he's throwing for the end zone. 2-2, touchdown Rams, touchdown LA. And it was really a clever formation. 2-2 motioned into a bunch left formation. And then he broke for the pylon. Matty from the D hit him with a dart. 7-7. 7-7 ball game. And even though there's been precious little balance, so far, the Rams and McWonder look sharp. But there's a nagging feeling gnawing at the back of my mind. And you know what it is, my folks. You know what it is. Philly takes over, but the Rams D forces them to punt. The Rams take over for their second possession. And, of course, McWonder is throwing again. And actually, on a pass to Puka that he should have caught, the drive would have continued on, but the drop ends up causing, on that third down incompletion, the Rams to punt it back. So now Philly and Houdini Hurts take over, and you're seeing now the future of NFL QBs. And so Houdini Hurts drives the team down in the field goal range, and they convert 10-7, 10-7 Eagles. And the Rams now on their next possession. And Matty from the D is still chucking it all around the yard. You guys know what I'm thinking. But the Rams looking sharp at this point in time in the game. Driving the ball. And at the Philadelphia 22-yard line, Matthew Stafford from the shotgun floats up that pass that I was talking about earlier. Floats up this beautiful pass that just arcs and drops right down into the hands of Puka Nacua. Touchdown. Touchdown Rams. And it is 14-10 LA. 14-10 LA. And I'm like, hey, I like the resilience, the fight back. I just wish the offense was more in balance. Philadelphia trailing 14-10 with 32 seconds left before halftime. Just 32 seconds. They go on offense. Houdini Hurts trying to drive the team. And on a 3rd and 1 from their own 35, Hurts hits A.J. Brown for a big gainer over the middle, plus the horse collar penalty tacked on top. Moves the ball way down deep in the Rams territory inside the red zone, and then pass interference on the Rams in the end zone. 1st and goal. Philly from the 1. Just a few seconds. 2 seconds left before halftime, and that brotherly shove, that Philly push they do, they did that to success. And in just 32 seconds, Philly snatches a 17-14 halftime lead. And the Rams would not score another point on this day. Now, this brings up an interesting question about the coach, Mr. McWonder, because he seems to be having a lot of trouble with adjustments at halftime. He scored 0 points in the second half against the Eagles and lost. The week before, he scored 0 points in the second half against Indy and damn near lost were it not for that overtime. And he really had no offense to speak of the whole game long in Cincinnati. Very little offense in the second half against them damn Niners. And so it seems to be a trend. And we all know that he had that gaudy record when he's leading at the half. But when trailing at the half, he's pretty pedestrian. I mean, he doesn't. So what that suggests is that the team is not coming back from deficits and that he may not be proficient in making adjustments at the half. And so once again, we see that with the Eagles. No more points would be scored by the Rams. And so the Eagles would go ahead and coast to victory. I mean, and what stands out from the first half is that Los Angeles only has 22 rushing yards for the entire first half. They trail in time of possession 19-11. Rushing yards 22, time of possession trailing. These are connected. So LA opens up on offense in the third quarter, and right away they run into trouble. On first down, McG is throwing. He's got Matty trying a little screen pass, a little halfback screen. It was an O-line penalty that compounded the fact that the play went nowhere. So now we're at 1st and 15. Well, again, Mr. McWonder is easily triggered. See? So now you're behind the sticks, 1st and 15. Well, what is he going to do? Throw. Chuck it right out the gate. Right out the gate of halftime. Chuck. And so McWonder goes empty gun. 1st and 15 now. And what do you know? Matty gets whipsaw, slam dunk, sacked into the SoFi turf hard. He got planted. Okay? This is what I mean by the defense knows your tendencies. They got the book on you. They know. Even though it's a one-score game, they know you feel panic. You are going to chuck. So they can pin back their ears and let it rip and come and put a hurting on your quarterback. Your 35, 36-year-old quarterback. Down goes Matty, banged into the turf. Whipsaw, slam dunk. Face first smash. Graze on that. Have some turf. All right. So now it's 2nd and 26 now. On that sack, the second sack of the day on Matty, Shelton, your center, is injured. He's shown going off on the sideline, holding his hand, and his finger looked like it's going 3 different ways. And, credit to him, tough guy. He would return later on, but O-line show. You're already down lineman. All that moonwalking, pass blocking, shalom. You got your offensive line on skates, Coach McWonder. You got them on skates moonwalking. Don't stop till you get enough. Who's bad? And so on 3rd and 26, this was an interesting moment in the game, I thought. On 3rd and 26, normally, McWonder would want to chuck it, but he finally conceded. He has botched this possession enough. 3rd and 26, I'm just going to hand the ball off for a few yards to K-Will and get out of there, punt the ball, and reset for the next possession. And what do you know? But on that 3rd and 26, K-Will gets a face mask called on him. And so that little run into the line, that concession giveaway down turned into a first down. And so the Rams got life. And I said to myself, see how the football gods bless you when you run? You see that? He didn't see it. He didn't see it. Because he went right back to chucking. Puka over the middle, and then ultimately the drive floundered on an incompletion or two, and he had to punt. And as I've already let the cat out of the bag, the Rams wouldn't score anymore this day. But I just find these possessions, the breakdown, these are illustrative. I believe they shed insight on the mind of an unbalanced coach. Now, McGenius is only down 3. It's in the 3rd quarter. Remember the example. Remember Shane Steichen. Remember down 23-0 in the 3rd quarter. How patient he was. But McGenius is only down 3. Only 3 in the 3rd quarter. And yet, he's throwing. He's chucking. He's chucking the ball all over the yard. There's Matty with a second down dart to Puka. And then L.A. now, 1st and 10 from the Philadelphia 43. And Matty is back in the shotgun again. And I'm thinking, balance, McWonder. But no, McWonder is throwing yet again. And the ball is tipped and it's picked off. Poltergeist strike. Wait, whoa, huh? Oh, the ball touched the ground. It incomplete pass. The defense, the Eagles did not accept the haunted gift. But I'm like, there it is, McGenius. Don't you see? You have ushered the call out to the malevolent one, and he is trying to answer you. He's trying to get into SoFi. He's trying to get into SoFi without a ticket. I'm like, you're dancing with the devil, McGenius. You're playing with a scorching fire that's gonna burn your ass if you're not careful. So, no harm, no foul, no blood, no ambulance. The Rams retained possession of the ball, and it's 2nd and 10. And I'm like, heed the warning, McWonder. But no. The unbalanced coach continues his aerial assault. He's throwing again. And out of the empty shotgun, jailbreak blitz. Oh, no, I can't look. Matty has to throw it away. And now it's 3rd and 10. And he's throwing yet again in the gun. And it's a quick pass over the middle to Puka. Who? Ball out. Fumble. Ball out. But who's there to recover? It's Soup. Soup to the rescue. Falling on the ball. But see, you're coming unglued. You're getting discombobulated. Breathe, McGenius. Breathe. Don't panic. Relax. It's a 3-point ball game. You're at home. It's the 3rd quarter. Take it easy. So the Rams have to punt yet again. And I want to right here give a shout out to Ethan Evans, the Rams rookie punter. The guy is booting the ball. He's pinning Philadelphia back deep inside their own territory, inside their 10-yard line, time and time again. He looks good as a punter. And so Philadelphia takes over, and I'm thinking they are going to run the ball here. I'd be shocked if they did otherwise. And sure enough, 3 straight runs. Pay attention, Mr. McWonder. 3 straight runs by the Eagles. And in fact, 5 of the next 6 plays are runs. This is how you do it. Control the game, control the clock. Take a toll on the defense. Soften up that underbelly with them body blows. Mr. McWonder knows nothing about this, you see. He just wants to chuck it. And so this is how it would go, my folks. On into the 4th quarter now. 2014 Eagles. And, Philly is just dominating the Rams in terms of time of possession and first downs. And now down to the last 4 minutes in the game. It's 23-14 Philly. And McGenius is happiest when he can chuck it without any pretense of a run. I mean, we know he's barely going to run to begin with. But down with 4 minutes left in the game, down 23-14, why, McGenius can just let it all air out the way he really wants to. And that's what he does. And so the defense is licking its chops. The pocket is crumbling. There's stress all over Matty from the D. 4th and 12. Havenstein goes out with an injury. There's a blitz. Matty is smashed, slammed, turnover on downs. The sack wraps it up. Game over. And my folks, I'm thinking McGenius is going to have a very difficult time with power teams. BA-LA-NCE. Do you know what that spells, Coach McG? BA-LA-NCE. Why won't you just try it? Try it and see. BA-LA-NCE. What's that spell? BA-LA-NCE. What's that spell? The coach's grade for the Eagles game, I give him a C minus. I give him a C minus for Coach McWonder. And really, if you want to just look exclusively at play calling, I'm going to give him a D. D like in the hell is wrong with you? You want your O-line passive or aggressive? You want your O-line charging or moonwalking? Shimon. And so, ladies and gentlemen, my final takeaways is that despite youthful talent and exuberance, and despite a fresh energy in the building at SoFi, and despite quality play from the quarterback and the running back and the wide receiver trio, the defense and the defensive game plans, despite decent O-line play, despite it all, there is a fly in the soup. Waiter, there's a fly in my soup. I have reached the conclusion that it is the offensive play calling that is holding the Rams back. So, at the quarter pole now, or thereabouts with the 17-game season now, we get a pretty good idea of what this season is stacking up like. Next up, Arizona, and then Pittsburgh, Dallas, Green Bay. That's kind of like the legacy teams, right? Pittsburgh, Dallas, Green Bay after Arizona. And I despite my concerns about Pashapius and the unbalanced coaching, I think the Rams can make some hay here. And I'm going to definitely expect the Rams to handle the Cardinals. I don't know what Pittsburgh is, but they're beatable. And them damn Cowboys, they are who we thought they are. So don't let them off the hook. And Green Bay, that's a winnable game. So it's time for the Rams to actually make some hay. And if only the coach would employ the principles of balance and discipline, while they could take a serious run at this thing, doing some damage in the postseason. That's the hopeful news, but the worrisome news is that despite the lessons of Indy, despite the examples of Father Shanahan and Shane Steichen and Scotty Sayers, despite it all, the coach of the Rams is obstinate in his unbalanced approach. And so, Pashapius is not a good omen to carry on your back into a postseason berth. But let's hope the Rams can even get that far. And so, very quickly, the final numbers. Stafford, 21 of 37 for 222 yards, 2 touchdowns. Williams, K-Will, 13 carries, only 13 carries, 53 yards. That's 4.1 yards per carry. Same as he averaged in Indy. Ronnie Rivers got 1 carry for 1 yard, so there were 14 total runs, 37 pass attempts. So there you have it, my folks. 14 runs, 37 passes. And instead of it being 37-14, it should be 25-25. Just like Father Shanahan showed his son the way. All right. So welcome back, Soup. Welcome back, Super Cooper Kupp. 8 receptions, 118 yards, 14.8 per catch. Puka continued his onslaught, 7 catches for 71 yards, 10.1. Higbee had a couple catches. Tutu had a couple catches as well, as did K. Will out of the backfield, and Stoney. No catches, no targets, no yards. You know what it is. And so, next up, the Gridbirds. Now, word is that James Conner, their running back, is injured and will most likely miss that game. That's a big blow for the Cardinals. I don't know what the Rams injury report is as of this recording. I've heard rumors that AD 99, the Beast, got nicked up. We know there was a lot of O-line injuries and shuffling. So we'll see how the injury report shakes out as the week moves along. But I wanted to get this out to you. And unlike what I initially thought, we still have a pretty in-depth, intense episode. And so at this point, what I need you to do, what I need from you, is to throw me one of these. I have to point out once again, these cost you no money. They're free to throw to me. Please like the video, like and subscribe if you haven't already. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you're thinking. Don't you see it, my folks? It seems so plain to me, and yet Mr. McWonder cannot see. And so I'll see you on the other side of the Cardinals game. And so until then, my friends, one love.